Alright guys, so what I'm going to show you here is how to create an independent dependency between your IK-FK switch. And what I'm doing is I'm using the Radius and Ulna method, which you saw me do on earlier videos. I'm not using the trident shape, where we have the bones coming from the elbow to the radius and ulna area. I just have independent joints. Now what happens sometimes, not all the time, what happens sometimes in Maya is when you have your IK directly connected in here, and say you have your controller all set up and everything, you'll find out that you no longer can rotate your bone when you're excuse me, when you're in IK mode. It'll actually turn off. Like, it doesn't do it all the time. Like right now, this example, it actually works. So, but when the Maya gods are frowned upon you and they don't work, what you can do is you can go back and adjust things in your arm to make it a little bit different and have separate dependencies. So what I did here was I created an IK bone, my wrist IK. I created another one, this will be my wrist twist, and a final one for the wrist bend. So we can call this wrist bend. So this is when you wave and so forth. This is when you rotate your forearm, and this is where the IK is going to go. So I'm making my IK, instead of this one where my IK is right on here and my wrist bone is here, and eventually I'd make a controller to control it, I'm making an independent bone, which is for the IK, by himself down the chain, and then the radius and ulna control will go here, and I'll paint the weights from on the right side of the arm and the left side of the arm. And then we'll parent constraint the rest of the hand to it. So this can prevent that from not working. Now, for those that have had me in rigging before, you'll see that 2012 does that. Apparently 2013 does it sometimes. But to prevent it from locking down your wrist rotate, this is one of the better ways to do it. So I'm going to click on the shoulder, and then I'm going to click on the first IK, or the first bone here for the IK. There it is. And then now I'm going to do a parent constraint, these bones underneath this guy. So I got my orientations pretty bang on there. That's fine. So I'm going to go in here and grab the parent then child, and then we'll do a parent constraint. Make sure when you use parent constraint that it has maintain offset on. It's found on your options, maintain offset, which is what we talked about before. Oops, we don't want it too big. And then we'll do the same thing here. Grab the parent then child and hit the G key to repeat the last process. And finally, parent then child and hit the G key to repeat the last process. You have to do them, unfortunately, independently, one bone at a time. There are some scripts that allow you to do multiple ones. Be careful with that, because you may think you're in default and you could end up doing something a little bit weird if you're not careful. So I'll grab the controller here, move this around, there it goes, and there we have the independent dependencies where we can still get our rotation for our arm, and we still have our wrist bend. Now the wrist bend typically is going to be a little bit closer, but I made it separate so you can visually see what's going on. Alright, that's about it. And again, you don't want to have your wrist bend connected directly to your radius and ulna. I just want to repeat or say this, mention this, because when you bend your wrist, your radius and ulna, when you bend it up and down, it really doesn't move. You would just get some little deformations, and that'd be in the tissue. Mainly, you want to try to get these guys to be a little bit different, so you don't get them to have a direct connection. That's about it. All right, I'll make about a whole bunch more on texturing 2 today. Today is lecture day. Talk to you guys later.